Hey, hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah,
Just
thank you so
be,
much.
yeah, let everyone join and we will start. Okay. Thank you.
So, Shubhanka, is this session recording? Will you provide the recording post the session so that we can watch it later?
Hello. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
Who was asking for the recording? Just wanted to know.
yeah, no one here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Numan. Yeah, you will get the recording. Okay.
Sure, thank you so much.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. So, my name is Abhishek Pandey, and I'm a training lead at Ask My Identity, a leading training and consulting service provider across globe in and around identity and access management. And we are dedicated to provide quality training to prices that suits every category of audience so that we can help and build a quality IM professional across India and abroad as the IM market is at the highest level from job aspect with over 1 lakh requirements across the globe. Coming back to our today's workshop, we are thrilled to have Subhankar, Mr. Subhankar with us, who is a senior IM consultant at CMU Solutions. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience from the various different roles he has done in the past. Yes, sorry everyone for the uh, inconvenience. There was a network error. So today we are thrilled to have Mr. Subhankar with us, who is a senior IM consultant at CMU Solutions. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience from the various different roles he has done in the past. The whole session of today is divided in three parts.
Today we are going to have this masterclass session, but before we begin the session, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sumit, and I am the co-founder of Ask Me Identity. And I just want to shed some light on why we are doing this webinar today and what is the market trend for IAM. So in this webinar, we are going to discuss PingFederate and the overview of market trend, like why to choose IAM. And then this workshop on the PingFederate will be delivered by Shruvankar itself. And the key takeaway will be that how can we put this learning into an effect, and how would be able to change our career path from this learning session today. So IAM market insight, if we look at the global identity and access market size, right, it's valued at $13 billion, right, and it's going to increase year by year, and we're expecting $15 billion in 2023 and 24. So if you see the CAGR of the market increase, it's 15.6%, and it will grow by the CAGR every year till 2031. So it's a huge market, and currently there are a lot of opportunities to develop and focus on this domain. If we look at the world map and how a world has implemented IAM in their use cases, it is that North America has been the highest marketplace where they have implemented IAM than other continent, but other continents are also coming up, and countries are also coming up with the IAM solutions because of the increasing security threats, breaches, which we are seeing day by day. So now, what does this mean to you, this seminar or this workshop? So with this workshop, we would be able to put you through our training, which will help you invest in your learning and have a career ahead in IAM and Ping itself. We will be deep diving into some of the job opportunities which is currently available in PingFederate, right, and how that is going to change in the future. So the job market, which is growing. So earlier we looked at how IAM adoption is happening, and we have seen North America being the greatest adopter. Here also, if we see at the job market, United States, US, which is a popular job market for Indian techies or for the worldwide technology, right? It is rapidly having an openings for the IAM specialist, IAM engineers, and other countries like UK, India, and Germany are catching up with US. So there are more than 1 million jobs currently in the IM domain, and there are lack of talented IM resources which can be tapped into. So from this workshop today, we are trying to equip you with relevant skills in PingFederate and how IM can adopt PingFederate so that you can utilize this job market. I would now hand over this to Shubhankar to take it from here and start the session.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Is my voice, am I audible? Can you hear me properly? Do you see any issues with my audio? Okay, I see everyone can hear me. So, good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to this webinar. As Sumit said, my name is Shubhankar, and some of you might know me through the Why Not IM community. We've been carrying out regular classes on PingFederate and Okta. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shubhankar, and I've been working as an IM engineer for the last 4+ years. And as an IM engineer, my experience has mostly revolved around the access management side of the world. Now, when I say access management side of the world, I worked mostly on Ping Identity suite of the products, where my experience has revolved around Ping Federate, Ping Access, Ping Directory, Ping Authorize, Ping ID. And I've also started working on the cloud platform, meaning the Ping One platform. And currently, I am working with Simio, as Abhishek said, as a senior identity specialist. And previously, like coming to my background, I've worked with clients like famous or major e-commerce clients like DigiKey, Rockwell Automations. I'm working for another e-commerce client. I cannot disclose the name, but it is also a Fortune 500 client. And so this would be a brief introduction about me. But before we begin, I would like to thank Ask Me Identity, like the entire Ask Me Identity team, for like giving me this opportunity, like to come. Okay, can anyone? I'll just enable the recording. Give me 1 second. Sorry, go to the cloud.
Recording in progress.
Okay, the recording is in progress now. So as I was saying, first of all, I would like to thank the entire Ask Me Identity team for giving me this opportunity and like bringing this entire webinar into place and like bringing everyone to this table and giving me this opportunity. And uh, and also before we begin, I would like to see active participation from all the 30 people in the meeting right now, because it is going to give me a boost also, and I would also know that I'm doing right, I'm giving the webinar in the right way. So please be active, please ask questions. We are going to take up the questions at the end of the session, so please like wait for your questions. Requesting to record this meeting locally tonight. Okay, we cannot allow local recording, please. So whatever questions you have, please put it in the chat, and I'll make sure we take it at the end of the session. Okay, so let me see. Can you guys see my screen? Like, is my screen like visible? What is happening? Okay, you guys can see my screen, right? Okay. Yep. So if you guys are ready, please put a yes in the chat, and then we'll start with this webinar and we'll begin our session. Let's see a yes from everyone. I see yes, yes, yes. Nice. This is the kind of participation we would need from everyone, so that it is worth the money that you guys are also spending. So please put a yes and I'll be ready.
Okay, I see everyone is ready. So shall we begin? Yep, we shall begin. So welcome, I welcome you all to this webinar, Mastering PingFederate Foundation. So this is the first module of the many modules that we are planning to launch, that Ask Me Identity is planning to launch. So what are going to be the topics that we are going to cover? Okay, first and foremost, before we begin, okay, I've had people approach me and ask me, can you give me training on ping identity? So most of the people that I have come across, they don't know ping identity and ping federate are completely different things. Ping federate is a product developed by ping identity. So training is provided for ping federate, not for ping identity. Okay, so that is the first part. We need to understand what is ping federate, what is its use case, how, like, why is it so widely used by all the Fortune 500 companies across the globe. Why is it so famous? Why is it so used nowadays? Okay, and we'll try to understand, like, what is the problem that PingFederate is trying to solve. Okay, because we have solutions, right? We have several solutions. You open Google and search for access management solutions, you'll find hundreds of different companies. But what exactly is PingFederate doing that is making it the major contributor towards the access management solutions? Okay, so we'll try to understand that. So how is the ping federate architecture? Like, what are the different moving parts? Okay. So one good thing about ping federate is, like, when you work with the on-prem solution, ping federate has a lot of moving parts. Okay. So what are the different moving parts that are involved? You can call it components, part, etc. Then when you talk about ping federate, right? Since it is a on-prem solution, we need to do ping federate installation. Now, when you do installation, right, there are several ways, there are several approaches. You install it as a service, okay, or you install it just like a normal app. So, what is the difference? Like, installing it as a service or installing it as a normal application? What is the difference? Why do we install it as a service, or how do we do it? Okay, we'll cover Ping Federate installation on Windows, and for the bonus topic, let it be a surprise for people who stay till the end. They'll understand, like, they'll get to see Ping Federate installation in some other environment maybe. So hold your horses and stay till the end. So we'll begin. Okay, so these are going to be the topics that we are going to cover. Now, what are going to be the key takeaways? What are you guys going to get by attending this webinar? Okay, so again, as I said, the ping world is quite huge. Okay, it has a lot of different products, which we'll see what are the different products. So we'll try to understand a very small but a very important aspect of the ping world, which is called ping federate. How the user authentication, like how the entire user journey is being simplified by this one single product. How this one single product can give you thousands of, like, can increase your customer experience, increase your e-commerce business. How is this application working at the back end? Okay, now when we say application, okay, the ping federate application works on certain industry standards or protocols. Okay, and these protocols, so I my so with this webinar, my intention is so that, like, some of you guys who are appearing for the interview, they get the right content, the right amount of understanding about the protocols, when so that when you appear for the interview, you know what you're talking about. So we'll be covering that. We'll be covering the protocols. Now, when I say protocols, this is the most important section. So whenever you appear for the interview, you can expect around 5 to 6 questions, more than 5 to 6 questions, just revolving around the different protocols and how using Ping Federate we can play around these protocols. Okay. Now we'll be walking through the step of how to set up your own ping server, both on Windows and a different operating system. We'll see what that different operating system is. Now, bonus content, as Sumit said, like, about the job, Sumit will be talking about the ping job market. And once this webinar is over, so you guys will get a participation certificate from Ask Me Identity, which you can boost on your LinkedIn to show that you guys participated in this. And that could be very helpful for your, like, profile, because you're spending your weekend learning, trying to learn a new thing while other people are going out, partying, etc. You'll get a participation certificate. Okay, so these are going to be the major takeaways. Now, before we start, okay, as I said, I've come across people who've asked me, can you provide me training with on Ping Identity? Now, so we need to understand that Ping Identity is the company. Okay. Now, Ping Identity is the company that has developed this solution called PingFederate. Okay, PingFederate, you do not get training on Ping Identity. You get trained on PingFederate. You worked on PingFederate. Okay. So now when we come to PingFederate, we need to understand what is PingFederate. Okay. What is PingFederate? What does it do? Okay. Now, when we talk about PingFederate, right? PingFederate is an enterprise grade IAM solution. Okay. Which what it does is it acts as a federated identity server. Now, so when I say federated identity server, what that means is it gives the organizations the ability or the power to securely manage the access to their resources. Okay, so in now, like in today's world, okay, so whatever data a company has or organization has, okay, it is like more valuable than their money. So now you need to have secure access to this data. So in order to provide secure access, you need a solution that can help you in providing secure access, that can manage like who is getting access to what, who is doing what with that access. Okay. So how do you control those access? All this is done with the help of a single tool called PingFederate. Okay. Now, what does PingFederate do? What does PingFederate provide? PingFederate provides like n number of solutions. Okay. Like it provides like thousands of solutions with the one single tool. But the most important aspect that we have that PingFederate provides is single sign-on. Okay. So now, what is single sign-on? Okay. So you remember, like some of you like who've been working in this industry for 20 years, they would know that before IAM was a thing, people had to like for different applications you had different passwords. Okay. And now when you have different password for different application, it gets difficult to manage those passwords. So people used to like put their password in a notepad, all the passwords. So if you put all your passwords in a single place on a notepad, it becomes very easily like it is very prone to hacking. Anyone can access your OneNote and hack all the passwords and get access to your system. Okay. So that is where single sign-on comes. Okay. Now, how PingFederate enables single sign-on? Before understanding how PingFederate enables single sign-on, we need to understand what is single sign-on. When we talk about single sign-on, you need to understand like basically what is happening. So in layman terms, you can say that it allows users to access different applications using a single set of credentials. This is a layman definition of single sign-on. You can think of it in that way. But if you if you talk in a more technical way, with single sign-on, what happens is your single session, the session that you create, that is created once you log into your system, that single session is shared across different applications. Okay. Now, how is that sharing taking place between different applications, between different organizations? That totally is managed by your protocols. Okay. That is where PingFederate comes into picture in implementing those protocols. Okay. Are you guys with me till here? Like, all good? Am I going too fast? Or am I putting too much technical jargons? You can put it in the chat. I just good from me. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now, as I said, okay, now, but it's just not single sign-on. PingFederate also allows identity federation. Okay. Now we'll come to federation. What is federation and what federation does? We'll take up a use case. I'll explain how PingFederate allows federation. Okay. So hold your horses again. We'll take up that use case. Okay. So now, okay. So what are the different on-premise products under Ping Identity? Okay. So there are two worlds. Okay. One is the cloud world and one is the on-premise world. So I come from the on-premise world of things, where I worked on all the tools that you see in front of you: PingFederate, Ping Access, Ping Directory, Ping Authorize. So I just give a brief on all these products. So I just explained what is PingFederate. Now, what is Ping Access? Now, think of a scenario in your organization. You have legacy applications. Okay. Now, we also want to protect these legacy applications. Am I right? Like you don't want people to have like unprotected access or unlimited access to these applications. So now you want to protect these applications also. But what happens is most of these legacy applications, they do not support the modern identity protocols, okay, like SAML, OAuth, OIDC. So in that case, Ping Identity, what it did was it developed a product called Ping Access. So now when you want to protect your legacy applications, and not just legacy applications, your even the present generation applications, when you want to protect these applications, when you want to have a fine grained access control, okay, when you want to have control over even the minutest things on the application, that is where Ping Access comes. Okay, to have that access control over the application. Okay, now similarly we have Ping Directory. Now Ping Directory, think of it like your, if you guys have worked on Active Directory, it's like Active Directory on steroids. Okay, Ping Directory is Active Directory on steroids. It has a lot of features other than Active Directory. Okay, so it's very similar, but there are some differences and it has more powers, I'll say. Now, coming to Ping Authorize. Now, Ping Authorize is like a very unique product. Okay. So now when not everyone uses it, not every client will use it, but okay, but there are certain clients that are using Ping Authorize. Now, see, you want to control who is getting access to your application. Okay, you want to have a fine-grained access on the applications, but you also need to control who is accessing your data. Okay, how is your data being governed? Who is accessing your data? What level of access they have on your data? How is the data being transferred from your application to your servers, to your directory servers? Everything is controlled by this Ping Authorize. This is a very powerful tool. It's very powerful. If you understand Ping Authorize, it is going to put you in a league above and beyond others. I can guarantee you, I can give a guarantee on that. This is a very powerful tool. Okay. Now, Ping ID is an in-house MFA solution provided by the Ping Identity company. Okay, it's like your, if anyone has worked on Okta, it's like your Okta Verify or Google Authenticator. Okay, it's very similar. All good till now? Any questions? We'll take the questions at the last, but so this is about the different on-premise products. Okay. Now coming to the question, why do we need PingFederate? Why do all the Fortune 500 companies, you name a company and they are using PingFederate? Okay. But why? Why do they use PingFederate? Now you need to understand PingFederate works like on a 4 different pillars. Okay, like these 4 pillars, like the secure access. How is it providing secure access? Okay, so whenever you're working with PingFederate, right? First of all, it is open to all the protocols, industry standards that are there in the current market. We have SAML OAuth, so it provides single sign-on solution. Now it also provides solutions like role-based access control and attribute-based access control. Now these role-based access control and attribute-based access control can be implemented in several ways. Okay, so that whenever you're accessing something, so whenever you're accessing something, you have like you know who is accessing what. Okay, all this can be done with PingFederate. Okay, now with the seamless user experience. So as you know, with single sign-on, the major benefit is the user. The user will not have to use their credentials again and again. Okay, they can use the same set of credentials and they can access anything that they want. Okay, now PingFederate. Okay, there is something called adaptive authentication. Okay, so has anyone heard about the term adaptive authentication? Yes, no, anything? No, I think no one. So what happens is with PingFederate, okay, there are certain binaries, okay, or certain integrations kits that you can use to implement adaptive authentication, which will enhance your security. Now, when I say adaptive authentication, what I mean is with adaptive authentication based on the user, how the user is behaving, okay, how the user is behaving or what has been the user behavior in the past. Based on these details, okay, you can carry out the authentication for the user. So for an example, like right now, I access this PPT in front of you and my location is India, okay, but after 5 minutes, I access the same PPT, but now my location is US. Is that possible? Is that humanly possible? Yes, no, maybe. I don't see any response in the chat. So, but that is not possible. So user, my user behavior has changed, right? Right now, I was accessing it from one location, but now my IP, my location, everything changed. So right now, if I try to access this PPT, it shouldn't let me just use my password, right? Yes or no? Is this making sense? Can you put it in the chat? Yes or no? Is this making sense? I don't see any response, but guys, let's make this interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking, so you guys can also put your responses, make it more interactive. I'll just see chat if there are. I don't see any responses, but okay. So as I was saying, adaptive authentication. Now, with adaptive authentication, what you can do is based on the user, how the user is behaving, the user behavior, you can control their access. You can ask them for additional factors of authentication. Okay. Now, how this is controlled? There is a product called Ping Protect and also Ping Risk. So these two products work hand in hand. Okay. Okay. These two products work hand in hand, and they with these two products, what happens is we can implement adaptive authentication. Okay, and this enhances your security. So you can protect your data in a more tight manner. You can have more control over who is accessing and how they are accessing. Okay. I don't think I can see the chat, but I hope you guys are understanding. Now, coming to the use cases. Okay. Now, this is where things get interesting. Okay. Things get very interesting from here. So I'll start from the right. I'll start from the applications. So PingFederate can do SSO with any application that you have in this universe. Any application that you see, be it AWS, be it your DocuSign or any application, it can do single sign-on. That is one of the features of PingFederate. But here comes the best thing about PingFederate. Now with PingFederate, we can implement B2B and B2C identity federation. Okay. Now when I say B2B identity federation, what it means is, suppose let's take an example. You have a company A, okay, and now you are an e-commerce client, and now you have certain suppliers, okay. Now these suppliers want to access some part, like some applications in your environment, okay, but you don't want them to use like a separate credentials. Like you don't want them to use their like separate credentials just for accessing some part, like some applications in your environment. So in order to implement that, in order to do federation between two different organizations, what we can do is we can create a bridge connection. Okay. We can create a bridge so that a trust will be established between both the partner organizations, and the user from your supplier companies, okay, can access the application in your environment, in your organization, without having separate credentials. Okay, this might sound a bit confusing, but trust me, when we do this practically, whenever we get chance, whenever we do this practically, you'll understand how the entire process works. But for now, just understand, with B2B federation, we are trying to create a trust between two different organizations. Okay. two organizations in a completely different domain. Okay. Now this was the best part. Now this is the cream of the cream part coming to PingFederate. Okay. So what PingFederate allows is, now PingFederate also allows, so suppose you have customers. Okay. Now for you are an e-commerce client and you have different customers. Now it is possible, right, that these customers that you have, they can have their own identity providers. Okay. And whenever the users from these customers come to your application, they might want to use the customer's IDP and not use ping as the IDP. Okay. So in this case, okay, not this, in these two cases, okay, here PingFederate will act as both the IDP and the SP. PingFederate acting as the IDP is a different thing. But PingFederate, when it acts as a SP, it's a different beast on its own. Okay, it's like completely different and it has lots of potentials. Okay, so with the B2C, what can happen is you can allow customers to use their own IDPs. You can even allow customers to use social logins like a Facebook login, like a LinkedIn login, like a Google login. Everything can be done. As I said, PingFederate has a lot of different use cases. It depends on how you are implementing it. Okay. I hope this is clear. I cannot see the chat, but I hope you guys are asking your questions and everything. Okay. So what are the different protocols? Now, PingFederate supports all the protocols that we have. So the most important protocols right now we have is SAML, OAuth, and like OIDC, WS Trust. But for our session, we will be covering SAML and OAuth. Like we'll try to understand how SAML works. I can give you an example. So let me open a diagram. Give me just 1 second. SAML. I hope you guys can see this diagram. Okay. So when we talk about SAML, right? SAML is like, in the layman term, is nothing but a communication happening between two parties. One is called the IDP and the other is called the SP. Okay. Now in SAML, we have two flows. One is called the IDP initiated SSO and the second is called the SP initiated SSO. So in short, if you want to know what is SP initiated and what is IDP initiated, so there are certain key differences, but the main difference is with the SP initiated SSO, the user journey, the user will always start at the application. Okay, the user is going to start from an application, and from there they will be redirected to their IDP for authentication. And once the user is authenticated, the IDP, it can be Okta, it can be PingFederate, it is going to send the user back to the SP. Now, if you want to see an example, I'll show you. So let me go back. I like showing this example because this is a very good example. So there is this application called Lucid Chat. Okay. My internet is slow, so please bear with me. I click on login. So this is an SP because this is an application that is providing us with some service. In this case, some drawing platform. Okay. So now if I want to log in, okay, this is where the SP journey starts. The user journey starts. This is the application. I'm starting from the application. Okay. Now you see there are different ways to log in. I can do Google login, Office login, Slack login, but I choose SSO. Okay. So now when I choose SSO, you see it is over here. It is asking me to give my domain. I'll give any domain. I'll give okta.com. Okay. So what will happen is this SP is now going to send a SAML request. Let me enable the SAML tracer. So this is a very powerful tool. We'll come to this. I'll explain. So I give put okta.com, and now here a SAML request will be generated, which will send me to my IDP, which will send the request to the IDP called Okta. Okay. You see, I from lucid.app, I landed to ssocta.com. I'll click on sign in with Okta. Just see how the URL is changing at the top. Focus on the browser. You see, from Lucid, I came to Okta. Now, if I open my SAML tracer, I'll do a pause. You see, this is a SAML request. SAML. You see, this is a SAML authentication request. Now, this SAML request, it shows where it started. Okay, it has where it started. Okay, who is the issuer of this SAML? This is lucidchart.com and all other details. But this was just for you, just to show you how SAML request works. Now, if I log in, a response will be generated. But since I am not a Okta person, like Okta employee, I cannot do sign in with Okta. Okay. So this is just an example. After the successful authentication is done, a response is generated. Okay. This is one way of doing it. Now, then again, you have the IDP initiated SSO. IDP initiated SSO, think of it like when you log into Google and you want to log into YouTube. Okay. You don't have to put separate credentials, right? Since you have already authenticated to your Google, you can directly access YouTube. So that is how the IDP initiated SSO works. Now, in IDP and SP, there are many differences. The first and foremost difference is where the user is starting their journey. Okay. Now, let's go back and jump to the presentation. Now, what is OAuth? Okay. Now, in order to understand what is OAuth, okay, so everything was good, right? Everything was good, but mostly what happens is SAML is generally used when between organizations which have very high trust levels, mostly with third-party applications. Whenever you have your in-house application, right? They generally go with OAuth. Now, what is OAuth? OAuth is an open standard protocol which allows secure authentication for third-party applications to access the user data without exposing the user's credentials like password or username. Okay. It will allow the application to grant users very limited access. Okay. Based on the permissions that they have given. Okay. Based on the permissions that they have given without exposing their passwords or credentials. Now, when we talk about OAuth, there are several parties involved. When we have our different webinars, we'll be covering the protocols and setting up things. But for now, for OAuth, we have like 4 different parties that are involved. We have the resource owner. Okay. The resource owner is the user who authorizes an application to access their account. Okay. Now we have the client, the application which is requesting access to the user's account. Okay. Then we have the resource server where the protected application or the protected resource or the user's data is stored or hosted. Then we have the authorization server, which does the authentication. Okay. So these are the different components. Now, this was about the protocols. Now coming to the PingFederate ecosystem. PingFederate is used everywhere. Okay. This is just few examples that I'm using, but PingFederate is, as I said, is used in all the Fortune 500 companies. Okay. You'll not find a client without PingFederate. Like most of the clients are going to use PingFederate for authentication. Why? Because the most important aspect about PingFederate is it allows a lot of customization. You can customize anything and everything in PingFederate. Okay. That is one thing. You can customize the login forms, you can customize the user experience and everything. Okay. Now, the second thing is with PingFederate, you have the control of the entire system. The entire system is on-prem and you control it. Okay. Now, this is about PingFederate. These are the benefits. Okay. Like federated authentication. Federated authentication, identity management. It reduces a lot of overhead reduction on identity management because it provides seamless access. Okay. Single sign-on adoption is very well. The single sign-on solution that PingFederate provides is very secure. Okay, I would put it even above Okta in some places. Okay, in Okta, the only thing is with PingFederate, you have a lot of moving parts, which we'll see. Okay, we 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 see like with single sign-on on PingFederate, you have a lot of moving parts. You have a lot of things that you want to that you have to configure, which makes the single onboarding application a little bit tedious, but it also helps you in protecting your application in a more better way. You have lots of different areas of control. Okay, now with the second thing is federated authentication success rate. It has around 92% success rate on the federated authentication. Okay, again the ticket reduction. So most of our, so what used to happen before was, before any IAM solution, we used to see that the service desk used to receive a lot of requests like, please change my password, or request related to user accounts. All these requests reduce once you implement single sign-on solution using PingFederate. Okay, so these are some of the benefits. There are other benefits also, but these are some of the major benefits. Now going to the next. Now coming to the PingFederate architecture. Okay, now PingFederate, you see, it has a modular design. Okay, now when I say modular design, what it means is, as I was saying, PingFederate is very flexible. You can integrate it with anything. You can customize anything that you want inside PingFederate. Okay, you can have as many servers as you want, and all these servers are going to be like put in like a high availability mode. Okay, whatever happens, your software failures are very minimum with PingFederate. Okay, okay, and these servers, like, so whenever you're working in a client environment, you'll not see only a single PingFederate server. You'll see several servers. Like the environment where I work right now, in our production and test environment, we have around eight servers, eight PingFederate servers, which has 7 engine nodes and 1 admin node. We'll come to what is engine node, admin node, but that is how high availability is maintained. Okay. Now coming to scalability. Now since PingFederate is easily customizable, we can scale PingFederate to allow to any volume that we want. Okay. Okay. Whatever your requirement is, you can easily scale PingFederate to achieve your requirements. If you have 1 million users and you want them to have single sign-on experience, you can do that with PingFederate. Okay. You can do that easily without any hiccups. Now with PingFederate, what happens is, it's not just PingFederate. Okay, PingFederate also comes with a lot of different like simultaneous products, which makes it more strong and scalable. With PingFederate, you can implement things. You can implement other solutions like Ping Risk, Ping Protect. You can integrate it with data governance and your Ping Access. Okay, so it has a lot of extensibility. You can tailor whatever solutions you want according to your needs. And as I said, PingFederate can be integrated with wide range of directories, databases, any authentication provider. You can set up PingFederate to integrate with Okta itself. You can do that, and that is done. I've done integration of PingFederate and Okta. Okay. Now this was about the architecture. Now coming back to installation. So how do we install? So in order to understand that, I'm going to share a document. Give me 1 second. So this is the PingFederate installation guide that we have created. Now with PingFederate, right, since it's on-prem, there are certain requirements. Now there are certain requirements that you need to make sure that you have in your system. Okay, before you begin the installation. And when you do installation, right, PingFederate can be installed on Windows. PingFederate can also be installed on Linux systems, Linux or Unix systems. Okay, so this is the Windows guide. I'll show you how the Linux installation happens. Okay, that is, we'll keep it as a bonus content. I'm just giving a hint for now. So before we begin PingFederate installation, there are certain requirements. We need a running Java installation, but you will ask, like, why do we need Java? We can just directly install PingFederate, right? Why do you need a Java? Any idea? Although I cannot see the chat, but If anyone knows why do we need to set Java home, please put it in the chat. I might read it afterwards. But we need to set up, since PingFederate is a Java based platform. Okay, it is developed on a Java platform. So whenever PingFederate is installed, it needs to call that environment variable before executing its functions. Okay, so in order to do that, in order to know that this is where my Java is installed, we set up the Java home variable. Okay, that is one of the reasons. Okay, now there are other certain requirements before you install PingFederate. The first is you need at least 4 GB of RAM, or else you can do it with 2 GBs also. But again, you will have a very hard time running that environment. Okay, you'll have a very hard time. You need minimum 4 GBs. You need 1.5 GB specially available for PingFederate, and at least a GB space available for your hard drive. But see, these are minimum requirement. But I would always suggest, if you're doing the installation, have at least more than this, or else you'll have a very hard time doing the installation and running through it. Now, in order to install PingFederate, right, you need to download the download binaries from the Ping identity site. Okay, so now if I click on, so this is the link to download the binaries. So if I, so this is the Ping identity site where you can click on whatever installation you want. If you want to do a Windows installation, you can download this Windows installer. If you want to do installation for Linux, you have to download the product distribution zip and extract and run it. We'll see how that happens. Okay, and then you also need a license key. So all this can be done. I can click on this Windows MSI installer, and you guys need to create your account on Ping identity site. Okay, so since my company is a partner to Ping, so I can use my account. Okay, I can use my account. I'm not a robot. I'll click on sign on. So you see, I sign into my Ping identity support site. Now from here, let it load. Sorry guys, my internet is very slow, so it will take some time to load the support site. But be that may, so once you log in with your account, okay, you can go to resources and click on downloads. Now here you can get access to all these things. You can download PingFederate, you can Ping Access, anything that you want. Okay, so for now, since we are talking about PingFederate, we'll click on PingFederate. You can click on the Windows MSI installer or whatever download you want to do. You can download it and then download a license key. So the license key is generally used. So you need a license, right, in order to run this product. It is not like freely available without license product. So you see, I've downloaded so many licenses. I've been using it for a long time now. So this is how you download the license. So this is the license that is there. This is the start date. So with PingFederate, what happens is you just get license for 1 month. So every month you'll have to come and create a new license and download it again and put it back again. Okay, so let me go back. Where did it go? So generally that is how you do the installation. Now for Windows, okay, let me show you how the installation is done. So once your installation is complete, okay, so before you do the installation, apologies, I forgot one part. You need a virtual environment. You need to set up a virtual environment. Okay, you need to have a VM, up and running virtual environment, virtual machine. You need to have Active Directory set up so that we can connect our PingFederate with the active data store. So this is my Windows virtual machine. Okay. This is my Windows virtual machine. And when I log in, so this is what a PingFederate admin console looks like. Okay. So once all the setup is done, once you do the installation, you'll see a page like this, okay, where you'll give your credentials, administrator, and you log in. I hope I remember my password. Any question, guys, till now? If you have any questions, please put it in the chat and I'll be taking it one by one once this gets done. Any questions? Although I cannot see the questions right now, but is this clear? Any questions? Anything? Any doubts? We'll take it up at the end, but please raise your questions in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer your doubts. Okay. So once you, so this is how the setup is done. But before I move ahead, is this helpful? Like, are you guys getting to learn anything new? Is this something that you find meaningful? If it is meaningful, please put a yes in the chat. It is going to give me a boost and come up with more solutions and more webinars in our next meeting. So just put a yes in the chat that if you learned anything new or if you found anything new with this session. Okay. So moving ahead. So once you log into your PingFederate, right, this is your admin console. Okay. Now this admin console, okay, this admin console has a lot of different features. Now you see there are 4 tabs. We have the authentication. Okay, why is it so slow? We have applications, we have security, we have system. Now I'll tell you, if you're planning to give interviews on PingFederate, be very clear that you need to know this admin console in and out, like at your fingertips. So if anyone asks you, where do I see fragments? You should be able to tell them that under authentication tab, the third box is fragment. This is how your answer should be. Okay. This is how we take things. This is how we approach things. Okay. Right now, if you ask me anything on the admin console, I know where what is situated. Okay. So this is how you approach the admin console. Now under the admin console, you have different paths. Okay, so you have IDP connection. So always remember, whenever you're making IDP connections, right, under the authentication tab, PingFederate will act as the SP. Okay. Now when you come to application tab here and under the SP connection, if you're making any connections, in this place, PingFederate will be acting as the IDP. Okay. We'll understand how this works, but for now, understand this. Now, coming to the most important part. With PingFederate, what you can do is, as I said, the most important part of PingFederate is you can connect PingFederate with any data store, any databases that you have. You can connect it. Okay. So now what data stores are, basically, wherever you have your users, you can connect PingFederate with the user so that whenever a user authentication request comes, PingFederate can look up into your Active Directory and see like, hey, this is the user and does this user exist on your side or not? If yes, then the authentication will happen. If not, the authentication will not happen. So PingFederate provides different kinds of data stores. Okay, let it load. With PingFederate, you see there are different types. You have the JDBC, the Java type, your databases, your directory, LDAP directory, like your LDAP, like your Active Directory, Ping Directory, or any other virtual directory. You can also integrate. This is a very powerful tool. Okay, I'll tell you a use case. We had a situation where we couldn't directly integrate Active Directory with our customer side. Okay, so what we had to do was we had to create a REST API data store. And with this REST API data store, we had to make a scheme call to Active Directory. So this is a very powerful thing, guys. Okay, this REST API data store. Okay, if you get a chance, we'll cover this in one of our modules, but this is a very powerful thing, this REST API data store. So this is one of the features. Now, the other important and powerful thing is we have PCVs. So the data stores contain your users, and your users, the credential of the users is stored inside your PCVs. This PCV talks with the data store. So whenever the request comes from application, the application sends the request to the adapter. We'll come to adapter, but hold onto there. So the adapter then sends the request to the PCV. Now PCV stores the credentials of the user. You see, under the instance configuration, I've added a LDAP data store called Active Directory. So this PCV is connected to this Active Directory data store. Now, with this connection, it is able to verify the credentials of the users. Okay, this is how the verification happens. Now, this PCV in turn is connected to an adapter. Now, what is adapter? So whenever you log into any application, right? So now if I log out, you see this form right in front of you. This form is created using your adapters. Okay, this is just think of it as a place where the users can give their credentials, and users can give their credentials and sign on to the application. That is what adapters basically do in short. Okay, but these are one part, but the most important thing, the heart and soul of PingFederate is not the adapters, not the data stores, not your PCVs. The heart and soul, let it load, then I'll talk. So the heart and soul of PingFederate is your policies. Always remember this, guys. This is a very important interview question. Everything, you can configure everything, but if you don't, if you can know everything about PingFederate, but if you don't know about policies, you don't know anything on PingFederate. This is the heart and soul about on PingFederate. So what policies do is PingFederate policies control how your user authentication journey happens. So if I log into any application, will I just use my username and password, or will I also need to put my MFA, or do I need to use a push? All this is controlled using your policies, the entire user journey. And remember, guys, whenever you're working on the customer identity management, user experience and user journey is the most important thing. Okay, if your user journey and user experience is not seamless, your, like, whatever client you're working on, your client will never be happy. The first and foremost and the most important thing is your user journey, how your users are getting authenticated. Is there a lot of friction involved when the user is trying to authenticate? Because if the user is facing a lot of friction when just trying to log into your application, why will the user buy anything from your side? It will go to some of your competitors if they have smooth onboarding experience. So always remember, with policies, you can make or break anything in PingFederate. And most of the troubleshooting that you do will be revolving around policies. You'll be doing a lot of troubleshootings. Okay. Now, this was about policies. And this is how the installation, this is a brief overview of the admin UI. Because of the time constraint, I cannot cover each and everything, but in our next sessions, we will surely be covering each and everything in its minutest details. Okay. Everything will be covered in detail. But before we move out, I just want to explain what are selectors. So now you have 100 different applications, right? And how will PingFederate know where the request is coming from? Which application is making the request? Is it a SAML application or a OAuth application? How will PingFederate know it? Okay. In order to know which application is sending the request or where the request is coming from, are there any parameters that are involved? Do I need to change anything? Do I need to change the authentication flow based on the authentication parameter? Sorry, based on the request parameter. Everything is controlled by selectors. And according to me, guys, after policies, if anything is important, like if anything like is very important on PingFederate side, it is the policies, it is the selectors, because they select what is going to be the authentication source. Okay. There are several selectors. We'll be covering that later, but there are several selectors. Now, this was about the installation and the overview. This was the installation and what are the configurations. So just one more thing before I move ahead. So this is on the Windows side. Now, whenever you install PingFederate, right, there are certain configurations that you have to do. Okay, if you go on the server side, you'll see you need to have a base URL. Okay, this is your base URL, or this is the URL for your engine node. So PingFederate has two parts. Okay, when you install PingFederate, right, there are several ways you can do installation. You can do a standalone installation. So this right now, what you see, this is a standalone installation where this single PingFederate is acting as both IDP and SP. Okay, sorry, not IDP and SP. Sorry, apologies for that. Where this single PingFederate instance is acting both as the admin and as the runtime node. Okay, runtime node is where your authentication request goes, and admin node is this where you make all the changes, all the configurations. But you can have a single PingFederate instance as the admin and another PingFederate as the engine. You can do that for high availability. That is how generally it works in the corporate environment. Okay. You set up the entity ID, you set up the base URLs, you create data stores, adapters. All this we are going to cover. Okay. So this is how we do the first steps. Okay. So any question, guys? Do you find this to be useful? Anything? Like, was this, is it clear? Do you have any questions? If yes, please put it in the chat, because we are now going to move towards our bonus topics. We are going to cover two things. I hope you'll get to understand two new things today. So is this clear, guys? Please put it in the chat, although I cannot see it, but please. Did you learn anything new, or was it helpful? We have 30 people. I want to see, when I see the chat, I want to see all the responses. So please fill the chat with your responses. If you're traveling or at home, just type a yes, and that would at least give me a boost to come up with new things in our next sessions. I assume everyone is responding, so we'll move to the bonus topics. Now, you see, PingFederate can be installed on Windows, and PingFederate can also be installed on Linux. Now, on Linux, when we do installation, the installation can happen in two ways. Okay, let me just. So this is my Linux environment, guys. Okay, I've downloaded Ubuntu or whatever you call it. I call it Ubuntu. So apologies if I am mispronouncing it, but so this is my Linux environment, and here right now I'm logged in as root. So I have already installed and not installed, I've already downloaded and put everything in place. So I'll go to my op directory. I'll do a LL. You see PingFederate binary is there. So now what I'll do is I'll go to PingFederate. Again, I'll do a LL. So you see there is again a PingFederate. So I'll go to PingFederate. I'll go to bin. So I'll do a LL. You see there are so many files. Now with PingFederate, what happens on Linux? You can either install it as a on Linux side, you can install it either as a service. So when I say you can install it as a service, what it means is you don't have to come into the console and always run it again, start the PingFederate instance again and again. Whenever you open your system or whenever you turn on your system, your PingFederate will be up and running. You don't have to manually go and start it every day. Okay, that is one way, and that is how things are installed. But today, we are not going to cover how PingFederate is installed as a service. We'll understand how can you do a manual installation, how can you just run, how can you not access PingFederate without installing it as a service. So in order to do that, guys, what you can do is you have to come inside your bin directory, and there is a script called run.sh. What you need to do is you need to run this script. I'll do a /run and I'll do a tab. Now what you'll see that it will take a couple of minutes, and once I run this utility or this script, the PingFederate server is going to start, and it is going to run. It takes some time. Okay. But the problem with running it in this way is every time you log out from here, every time you terminate your session, you'll not be able to access your PingFederate. Okay. You will not be able to do that. So that is the reason we install it as a service, so that you don't have to come in and do a run, like use this command and run the script again and again. So when we install it as a service, we use the same script. Okay. We use the same script and just we put it in a different file, so that whenever the server is turned on, that this script will run automatically. You don't have to do it manually every time. Okay. That is the only thing that we do, and we are going to cover that, how we install it, uh, how we install PingFederate as a service. And when you install PingFederate as a service, there are two ways. You can install it using init.d file, or you can install it using system d file. Now, init.d, for people who have worked on Linux, they'll know, with like once you move to rel 9, init.d has become obsolete. So you cannot, and like you shouldn't be installing PingFederate using init.d files. Okay. All the PingFederate Linux installation should happen on your system D. Okay. We'll cover everything, guys. Okay. Do not worry. This might sound confusing right now, but let's come back over here. So you see, I run this run.sh, and it is saying my PingFederate is running. So what I'll do is I'll open Mozilla. It will take some time, but it should open. It takes time inside the VM, so but we cannot do anything. We have to wait. Okay, what is this now? Okay, open up. Open up. Okay, this browser is taking some time, so let's see what I can do. Let me minimize this. This usually happens with the Linux environment. Since I've not put much RAM and memory over here, so it is very slow. But it generally opens in few clicks. So I'll have to try 5-6 times and it will open, but it will open. You see, this one is not responding. Was close. Okay, let me see what is happening. No, this is okay. Yeah, finally, it has shown its face. So now, since the PingFederate is running, so in order to access the admin console, always remember there are certain ports. Okay, with PingFederate, there are two ports that you always have to remember. One is the admin port, which is 9999, and second is the runtime engine port, which is 9031. So if you want to access the admin UI from your browser, what you have to do is, what happened? So in order to access the admin console, what I'm going to do is I'm going to access localhost colon 999 9999. So 9999, and I hit enter. So now what will happen is, it is a bit slow, guys, but it will redirect me to the PingFederate admin UI. So now let it load. It's a bit slow, but okay. Maybe because I'm sharing screen and doing this all at once, so it is a bit slow, guys. But please bear with me. But is this clear? Like till now, what we did, how we did, is this clear to everyone? Any questions? If any questions, please put it in the chat. I'll try to read it. Was it worth spending your Saturday going through this webinar and spending your money over here? Please put it in the chat. And I hope I we did make it like worth spending your 1.5 hour today. It is taking some time. The browser is very slow. I might need to fix it, but okay, yeah. Now I hope it is fine. But before it continues, okay, let me ask you questions. So I see there are some people like Sanket, Noman, they are already working on PingFederate. So this question is for them. So now if you have legacy applications that do not support your modern authentication protocols, like SAML, OAuth, WS Trust, okay, how do you provide SSO uh, provide SSO feature to them? Like you don't have, like you want to provide single sign-on solutions for the legacy applications, okay, but they do not support your uh, modern protocols, and you cannot use ping access. So how are you going to protect these applications? So I would like to know from people like who have worked on PingFederate, like Sanket, Noman, and anyone else who has worked on PingFederate, to think how you are going to protect these applications. How we can do that? I would like to see the response in the chat. Without using ping access, how do you protect these applications? You cannot. So if you say we will rewrite the application to support the modern protocols, that is not going to work. That is not the right answer. But how are you going to do that? I'd like to see some answers. So this my PingFederate. If you see, this is running right now. So if I again give my credentials, administrator, and I do I should be able to log in. And this PingFederate that you see, this PingFederate is running on Linux right now. Now, see, now as I said, you can install. Uh, so now, since we are running that that run.sh, if you see, this is we are running this command /run.sh. So it is saying PingFederate is up and running now. If I minimize this, it will take some time, but it should come up in just a second. This is taking some time. Let it load. Okay, but see, this is how you run in PingFederate. Okay, I apologize for my browser being slow. This is the VM, and it does not have the requirement, as I said. Okay, but okay, now it has loaded finally. So this is your Linux environment setup. Everything remains the same. It's just that the operating system has changed. Now, when you don't install it as a service, I'll show what happens. So if I go back over here, now if I just do Control C, you see PingFederate has shut down. So now if I go back to my browser, I do a refresh. You see there is a problem loading the page. So this means if you don't install it as a service, you come out, see PingFederate got shut down, and it did not. Now you will not be able to access the PingFederate admin UI. So your PingFederate is completely shut. So this is the reason we install PingFederate as a service on the Linux environment. So whenever you boot or whenever you start your system, your PingFederate will automatically come up. Okay. I hope this is clear. This was interactive. Now coming to the second question. I'll see that in the chat, but I'll repeat my question again. So if you have legacy applications, okay, that do not support your modern authentication protocols, but your company wants to provide single sign-on solution for these legacy applications as well. How do you do that? Now, don't say using ping access or rewriting the applications to support the modern protocols, because not every company uses ping access and rewriting the application is not feasible. So I'll wait for your response in the chat. So this was it. Thank you guys. I hope this was interactive, and I'll answer my second question once everything ends. I'll give an answer to this question, but before I give the answer, I would like to see some responses. Okay. And we have, so if, as I said, if you have your questions, please write it in the chat and we are going to take it up. Okay. So I would need to see the questions. I don't see it. I'll have to check. Abhishek, I don't see the question. So is there a way? Ideally, how much space should I allocate to? So this is no question. This is a question from Noman. Ideally, how much space should I allocate to PingFed in VMware? See, depending on your system, how much space, like how much space you want, like how much space is readily available in your environment. So if you have good amount of space, then give around 70 to 80 GBs of space, and you give around 5 to 6 GBs of RAM, so that you can have your environment running like smoothly. So right now you saw, right, like my Linux environment was stuck. It was not moving since I did not provide the right amount of memory. So provide around 70 to 80 GBs. It will run smoothly. Could you please provide the detail? I'm looking forward to the after the question. Could you and have at least 8 cores. Okay. Could you any idea about ping? Is ping for any idea about ping DevOps? Yeah, ping DevOps. So it is basically your installing PingFederate on your Kubernetes cluster. We can do that. We can take that up as well. Okay. It requires some time. It is still in the process, and we are going to take that up. Okay. Is PingFederate and ForgeRock the same? So PingFederate and ForgeRock are not exactly the same. Okay, Ping Identity has recently acquired ForgeRock, so it is going to leverage some of the ForgeRock capabilities. Okay, so they are not exactly the same. ForgeRock also provides access management solutions, but in a different way. Okay, it uses its own platform to provide it in a different way. Again, what is the use case on the usage of selectors? So as I said, Vinod, if you want to know where the authentication is request generating from, which application is making the authentication request, if you want to know that, that is where we use selectors. And on the ForgeRock part, eventually what you'll see is Ping will push PingFederate rather than ForgeRock. So ForgeRock is going to go off from the market. Okay, it is going to go off from the market completely. Now, how do we install PingFederate on VM machine? So we'll do that, Naveen, we are going to do that from scratch. I'll share the documentation. I'll walk you through the steps. Since we had time constraints, I couldn't walk you through the entire step-by-step process, but we are going to cover that in our next workshops. PingFederate and Azure AD can be integrated and they can coexist. So as I said, PingFederate can act as both IDP and SP. Now, when you integrate with Azure, so I'll give you an use case. Okay, we had an application, a customer-facing application, which was accessed both by internal employees and external employees. Okay, so both by workforce and customers. So now for customers, the IDP was different. We were using Azure AD for authentication. And for internal employees, we had Active Directory. So PingFederate was the bridge between these two IDPs, your Azure AD and Active Directory. And using some logic selectors, we'll cover that. We implemented this federation, this B2B federation. Okay, so this can be done. I'm seeing the questions. Is the adapter the same as connector? No, adapter and connectors are not same. Let me see. Is the adapter the same as a connector? No, adapter and connectors are not very different. I'll say are very different. REST API use case, it requires a separate session on its own, and I cannot do it in a 1 hour session or 10 minutes. It requires a lot of time. We might cover it in one of our webinars or workshops. It is not possible to cover it right now, but we are going to surely cover it. And now, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to pass it over to Sumit and Abhishek. So, over to you guys.
Market. So now I will continue. I think there was some issue with the sound at that point of time. So let me just recap what I was showing at that point of time. So we were talking about the job market in IAM, which is rapidly growing, and US being the largest contributor to that, right? So there are like 1 million jobs in IAM as of now, and out of which we see a lot of vacant positions for a talented resource who can implement IAM strategies, not just doing an SSO for application, but an overall IAM suite, right? So you should be able to understand IAM with the networking systems, IAM with the applications, IAM in the development market space, right? So that is what market is looking towards. Now, why this session was organized, so that we can point out what exactly you need to learn to be a good IAM specialist, right? So that we can fulfill the requirements, the jobs openings which are available today. So these are the top 10 skills which requires you to crack any IAM interview or IAM job. So first and foremost, for a single sign-on, you should be proficient in SAML and OAuth, and Shuanka did explain those in details. Then the next would be to you understand the data types or different types of API data formats which we exchange, where XML and JSON are very widely used. Then you should have knowledge on the basic and core IAM concept about user, groups, access management, identity management, and governance. Then you should be familiar with APIs, as in today's marketplace, everything is moving towards APIs. People like to build the application leveraging APIs of third-party providers, right? So they don't have to depend upon an interface provided by them, so they can build out their own customized application. You should also have solid understanding on directory systems, so that you would be able to understand how users and groups are managed in a directory system and then connected with this converged identity platforms like PingFederate, Okta, and so on. Proficiency in PingFederate administration definitely would help you, because the first journey in an IAM is through the administration. Once you understand administration, then you would be able to expand your knowledge into development, customization, and finally like orchestrating it through DevOps. You should also have familiarity with the compliances and the security requirements throughout different countries. Like if we say GDPR, HIPAA, CCF, so these are different requirements which pose a challenge when it comes to data usage, right? So we should be very much acquainted with that, what data can be shared, how it can be stored, and what should be the retention period of the data. Then you should also have some kind of experience in troubleshooting scenarios and log analysis, right? So with the log analysis, you would be able to do analytics like an identity analytics, what a user access and in what sequence. If that poses a threat, if somebody is having an issue, we can fix that issue by understanding the log. So that is one of the important skill. Then if you know how to write scripts, then you would be able to automate a lot of the tasks which we perform manually through the UI. And that would save time and bring in automation in IM. Knowledge of cloud computing is now very much essential, be it whatever domain you are, because everything is moving cloud. We are a cloud first generation now, and companies are looking to adopt cloud even more faster than what it was 10 years before. So this was just the foundation. Now we have webinars and the classes organized which can help you shape your IM career. So for that we have stage 2 where we will be dealing with the app creation, how application work, how application authentication and authorization processes works and looks like. Then we would be in the PingFederate, we would be able to configure adapters to do those authentications. We'll look into different types of adapters and selectors which are available. We would be able to then create custom policies which will help you define the security constraints for accessing any resources protected by ping. Logging and monitoring, as we discussed, that is one of the important skill you need to have in order to understand and troubleshoot the different scenarios which your users may be facing. Then we will be also including some of the custom use cases as we have seen required by different companies. So these use cases are very much helpful to learn different aspects and different ping products which are there in the market today. We will also help you in preparing for an interview and your resume building so that you can have apt content in your resume, what exactly is liked by an interviewer, right? How to show your skills and so on. And at the end we will have mock interviews so that you are go to market ready. So these are the 8 stages which we have developed for our entire line of specialized PingFederate masterclasses. And we are also going to provide you interview and job support. So from the start of preparing a resume and preparing for an interview, we will be providing you support and assistance when you are in job and you're facing any kind of issues or challenges, or you have a specific use cases which you would like to apply in your job. We will also show you how you can start looking for jobs for PingFederate or any IM related jobs from the social profiles, right, like LinkedIn, Google, and so on. We will also help you shaping your IM career by taking the mock interview so that you are well prepared for your interview. So when you go to the interviewer, you do not hesitate for any question and you are well prepared to do so. So we will have few mock sessions, and post mock sessions we will also, as I said, right, if you have any questions you can reach out to us and we are happy to answer your use case requirement questions, right? We have community channels, we have project support channels and so on to help you with your questions. Now, what average organizations and training institutes are charging you for any kind of PingFederate courses are from anywhere from 20,000 to 35,000, and even if you do for all the Ping products, it's even more. Now, what we are doing is, as part of these masterclass sessions, we are providing you this entire sessions, the 20 sessions which we have curated to target from a beginner to expert level, is just for 4,999. So in this, we would be preparing you learning PingFederate from the technical ground, as well as will help you prepare for your interview and be a market ready. And these are the topics which we are covering in the sessions, in upcoming sessions. So entire PingFederate, as we said, and then helping with your resume building, job search. We will provide you with the technical documentations to broaden your understanding on Ping and other products. And then with the mock interviews and helping you answering the questions and resume patterns of the most common topics will make you more comfortable when you go for your interviews. And the first 10 candidates who registers will get 1 month of free job support from us included in this SIM pricing. Lastly, you will also be able to show your certificate. So every participant will receive a certificate and you would be able to post a certificate in your LinkedIn. The certificate is verifiable, so you can verify the validity of the certificate, and that will help you show your skill to the world that you know Ping identity. Thank you everyone. So if you have any questions, you can post your questions on the chat and we are happy to answer. So this, there is a question from Kavita about exam certification. So this entire course is curated so that you would be well prepared for Ping examination, the professional certification for Ping. And we will cover all the topics which are as part of the curriculum. So we will help you set up the lab, yes, for the duration of the course, and we will provide you with use case requirement to implement in your lab environment so that you can get practice to the Ping identity systems. Now comparing Ping with the different products on this call is difficult because we are very time constrained, but yes, Ping, Savient and SailPoint is more in a governance space, where Ping identity, if we look at, it's more in an authorization and access management space. So these are two different segments, but yes, we can compare some of the services which are provided as a common, and we can cover that as a part of this course. The registration link will be shared on the chat by Abhishek for everyone who wanted to enroll. Currently, this is for PingFederate, and we can give you an overview of Ping access if required, but currently we are focusing this on a core PingFederate so that we can explore all the topics within those 20 sessions which we are planning. The session will be starting in July. We will inform everyone about the start date. Currently, we are taking the enrollment. Based on the enrollment and the common availability, we'll start the session in July. So we are 10 minutes overboard. I would like to thank everyone for participating in this masterclass and workshop, and we hope everybody had gained knowledge about Ping, something new to learn, and we will keep continuing like this. We will host different masterclasses as well in upcoming weekly sessions. So hope to see you again. Thank you everyone.